Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellarie. I have filmed another full face tutorial for you guys. Looks a little like this. Trying to do a lot more full face now since I'm getting some comments requesting them. So even though some of the stuff is the same and I feel a little repetitive, I'm here for yous. So you want full face? I'll give you a full face. Just decided to start this video off a little bit different since I usually do the same routine. Decided to switch it up a little bit, but I don't really have much to say, but enjoy.
So here we are with the blank face, of course, nothing on yet. I'm going to start my brows. I used this NYX palette because it's inexpensive, and I wanted to just show you guys you can use inexpensive brow products and still achieve nice brows. I have not hella hair, but I have enough hair to just fill in the gaps with a powder that's close to my hair color. So that's all I'm doing here is filling in all the gaps and making sure it's applied evenly. And then I'm doing what I normally do afterwards, which is clean up around my brows with concealer. But this, I don't know how much this is. I just know it's very, very inexpensive. So you don't have to spend hella money to achieve great brows. And I'm cleaning with MAC's Studio Finish Concealer and their 195 flat synthetic brush. Since this is a thick cream concealer, you want to make sure it's rubbed in completely. You can use your finger to warm the product up a little bit to make it easier. And then I'm using the spoolie to brush out my hairs and make sure that the product is brushed in and even. Now I'm using a brow gel. I believe this is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is always optional for brow gels, but I knew I was going to be out and about all day and I wanted my hairs to stay in place. Now I'm using Motive Setting Spray over my face before I apply my foundation, which is MAC's Studio Fix Fluid. I am using a beauty blender. I sprayed the beauty blender as well to press the foundation all into my skin and neck area evenly. So this is how I am with just foundation, and I'm applying tape in the outer corners because I want my shadow to be crispy. And I'm using an eye base. I believe I use Lime Crime's eyeshadow helper. It's thick and it helps prolong the shadow and make it last a little longer. And I also applied it to my lash line since I was applying shadow there too. And this is just my foundation powder that I'm applying underneath my brows to get rid of that creamy texture of the concealer. Now I'm using Morphe's Jaclyn Hill palette. This brown matte shade is my first color that I'm going to place, starting in the outside corner of my crease area and dragging the excess into the center. This is just a fluffy blending brush, I believe by Morphe as well. And I'm going to use the same palette and take this dark purplish matte shade in the corner and apply that in my crease as well. This brush is a tapered blending brush from Morphe's Flawless collection, and I'm concentrating on the outermost part and then blending it more towards the center. And you can switch between the brushes to make sure you have a nice transition. Now I'm using the same palette, this darker matte shade. This was applied with a pencil brush. I wanted to define my crease a little bit more so you can see this distinction between my lid and my crease. So I just went over that outermost part and tried to make it a little bit more darker. Now I'm using Chic by Motives Cosmetics on my lid and their concealer brush. It's just a flat synthetic brush. And I am applying this color all over my lid. I packed in about 2 layers. And I tried to stay out of the crease area and give it a sharp line as if I have a cut crease. And I like using this brush because it allows me to apply my eyeshadow with precision. Now I'm going back with the pencil brush just to make sure the crease is blended well. Then I grabbed Motive's Glitter Adhesive and Violet Voss Brownie Swirl Glitter, and I'm packing that all over the Chic shadow that I just applied. I'm using small amounts at a time. I went way too far down since I'm adding eyeliner. You don't want to go too far down if you add your glitter first. You can always trace out your liner so you know how far down to go, or apply your liner first. I'll probably do that in another tutorial, but once you apply your glitter, you can either add your liner or remove your tape. I'm going to remove my tape first and get rid of some of the glitter fallout and clean up those tape edges with my beauty blender and leftover foundation before I get into my highlight and contour. As always, using MAC's Prolongwear concealer. I use NC42. And you want to press this into the skin, and in all the areas you're going to apply it pretty quickly because it dries pretty fast and it won't move once it dries. So you want to go pretty quickly with that. And then I'm applying my banana powder. You can apply a translucent powder if the banana powder doesn't work for you. and I'm placing that underneath my eyes, and I'm not going to let it set on my nose and forehead just because it's harder to blend it out, and I was kind of in a rush. So you can just press it in directly just to give you that matte finish. And I let the banana powder set a little bit under my eyes before pressing it into my skin, before brushing the excess away. I always press it into my skin first just to make sure it's going to be even before I brush it away. Sometimes if you just brush it away without pressing it into your skin, it will be splotchy. Press it in first if you're using a banana powder, and then sweep away the excess with a clean brush. And for my contour, I'm using AJ Crimson's foundation in number 7. I love this. It's very creamy. It works almost similar to my Motive Spot that I usually use, but it's not as thick. I'm just applying in the areas I'm going to contour with a small little flat brush all around my forehead, down the sides of my cheek and my nose. And one little tip for my nose, instead of just making straight lines, you want to make sure that you shade the contour down a little bit. I'm just using the excess, but you want to shade down the sides of your nose just a little bit. I do this to get rid of the hump on the top of my nose, but you don't want to just have a straight line going down the sides of your nose. If you shade it down just a little bit, it'll create for a more realistic contour in my opinion, but you don't want to be too heavy with it. Now I'm blending out the contour with Hair and Makeup Addiction's contour brush. It looks like I'm pretty hard, but I'm really doing soft, fast, quick strokes. You don't want to be too hard with the brush because you'll move around the product too much and you'll have gapping. So you just want to do it pretty lightly but fast and quick motions. And I go up towards my cheeks, not too far close to my nose, and getting those nose contour lines as well. And I'm using Hair and Makeup Addiction. This is their small, I think, chiseler brush. There's nothing on it at the top of my forehead, and then I place a little bit of Max Refine Golden on my cheeks. Now I'm defining my contour a little bit by placing a little bit of banana powder underneath my contour. Just a small amount. Sometimes I go heavier, but a small amount will get the job done. And for the finishing touch, Max Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark to go over my entire face. It's a tinted powder, not as heavy as loose powders to me, so I like to use this just to go over all the areas of my face and make sure everything has a smooth transition. Sorry I couldn't record my liner. I definitely need to invest in 2 batteries, but I did my liner as you can see, and now I'm working the inner corners of my eye. I placed Chic in the innermost parts and then the purple shade from the JH palette on the rest of my lash line. My liner, LA Girl Cosmetics Very Black, I tight line at the top and then applied it heavily at the bottom so that I could smudge it out with this small little angled brush into the purple. If you go over your lashes a little bit, it'll make it easier to smudge out. Depending on how much you want it smudged out is how much you apply, and I make sure it's blended out with the purple. My mascara for my bottom lashes, Too Faced Better Than Sex. I love, love, love this mascara for my bottom lashes. I haven't actually tried it for the top yet because I wear falsies so much, but I love them for the bottom. And my lashes are Noemie by Lashes by Lena, still one of my all-time faves. And I use House of Lashes lash glue and press them firmly into my skin before applying Benefit's Roller Lash to blend my real lashes into my falsies. I decided at the last minute to use a little black matte shadow into my crease. I wanted to define that area just a little bit more. It was bothering me, so I just used a pencil brush and one of Morphe's small blending brushes to add that color. Now I'm applying my highlighter. I used Avalon, a new highlighter by ColourPop Cosmetics. Also great to apply with your finger, a little bit down my nose and the high points of my cheeks. And the blush is one of my also all-time favorites, Embering Rose by MAC. For the lips, I decided to do an ombre. I'm using Ellarie liner by ColourPop Cosmetics, another all-time fave. And I'm just lining my lips heavily first and blending it out by blotting. And I'm using a matte lip gloss by LA Girl Cosmetics called Rebel to go over it. If you don't want to mix the liner with the gloss, use a lip brush. But I was fine with it. And once I got the gloss on, I just went back and forth between the gloss and the pencil to create an ombre as such. And that's it for the final look, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll probably film this hair tutorial. It's pretty ratchet, but I'll probably film that later on. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Ellarie, and I will try to start updating my blog a lot more on MissEllarie.com. But as always, thanks for watching. Love you guys. Until next time, smooches.